is Monday, July 20th, 2020, and last Wednesday, a Facebook friend found Scott Kimball in St. Louis, the person who raped me when I was 12 and he was 16. I'd been spelling his name wrong. I did call Creve Coeur Police a few years back, and I talked to a really wonderful officer there who tried to help me find him, but neither of us realized I was spelling his name wrong. Anyway, now I'm calling them back, Creve Coeur Police.
Thank you for calling the Creve Coeur Police Department. This is a non-emergency administrative line. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. The direct number for police dispatch is 314-737-4600. To speak to a police dispatcher, press 1. If you know the extension of the employee you are... West Central Dispatch is Jill.
Hi, Jill. My name's Jane Fendelman. I called a few years ago to report my rape, and I had the spelling of my rapist's name wrong, and now I got it, and I know where he is. And I'm wondering, who do I speak to? This rape occurred when I was a child, which was a lot of years ago.
Okay. But you've made a report then?
I tried to make a report then, but I didn't have the rapist's name spelled properly, so we couldn't really do anything.
Okay, what department took the report?
I don't remember that. I have a bad memory because of chemotherapy. So it was just an officer trying to help me locate the rapist. I don't know if I actually gave a report at that time.
Okay. So how come you called here? Is there a particular reason?
The rape occurred in Beaujardin Park off of Schulte Road, Schutz Road. Schulte?
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Now, I think that is an unincorporated St. Louis County. Is it on Beaujardin, the park itself?
Yeah, in the park at the apartment
Okay,
complex.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's unincorporated St. Louis County. I'm going to go ahead and transfer you to them, okay? Don't hang up.
Okay. St. Louis County PD. Unincorporated.
You have reached police information. All operators are busy. Stay on the line and don't hang up. You have reached police information. All operators are busy. Stay on the line and don't hang up. You have reached police information. All operators are busy. Stay on the line and don't.
Police information, this is Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin. My name's Jane. I want to report a rape that occurred a number of years ago in Beaujardin Park, at the apartments there in the park.
At which park? I'm sorry.
There is an apartment complex on Schulte Road or Schutz Road. It's hard to remember the name of it. That a rape occurred in the park there.
Okay, what were the name of the apartments? I don't know which ones you're talking about.
Well, they used to be called Beaujardin. Beau, capital Jardin. It's an apartment complex, and there's a park there, and the rape happened in the park.
Are the is that off like let's see.
It's off of like
It's like right between North Limburg and Gilbreth.
that sounds familiar. Well, I think it's between
Cause
like Olive Street
there's
Road. It's like in between Olive Street Road
there's
and
Old Olive Street.
yeah. I it's me. I used to live in St. Louis, but this all happened when I was a kid.
Okay, and so you don't live here anymore. You're not.
Right, but I was told to report to you because that's where the rape occurred, in the unincorporated part of St. Louis on Schulte
Okay.
or Schutz Road. Creve Coeur PD sent me over to you.
Okay. Yeah, we just right. Yeah, I understand that because we do cover that area. The problem, we don't do reports over the phone,
Oh,
especially not for something like that.
okay, well, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm 60, and I have a compromised immune system, so I'm not traveling.
Okay.
And I need to
Does I
report.
don't know how to pronounce this, but does Sonoyce Drive sound familiar to you?
Oh, I don't know.
Sannois? Because I see these apartments, I think, and it's like Beaujardin Drive, and then it turns into Sonoyce Drive, and then there's Corbeil Drive.
Oh, that could be. Yep.
Okay. What is your name?
Jane, Jane, Fendelman, F like Frank.
For Jane?
Yeah, that's my first name, Jane. And last name is F like Frank, E like Edward, N like Nancy, D like David, E like Edward, L like Lincoln, MAN like man.
And your phone number, please?
602-881-1991.
602-881-1991, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when did this happen?
I was 12 years old.
And you're 60 now, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, well, I will have an officer that covers that area give you a call, okay? It'll be coming from a blocked or private number, so make sure you answer.
Okay. So, with the coronavirus and everything, I know a lot of states won't take a rape report or a child sexual assault report over the phone. I'm a therapist, so I've helped people report their sexual abuse for years. I've just been looking for my rapist for the last 10 years. I just found out I was spelling his name wrong. So, what happens when there's no coronavirus and someone needs to report a rapist to you and they live out of state? They have to fly there?
I'm not sure. I'm not an officer.
Oh, okay.
And so you'll be able to ask the officer those questions. I personally do not know.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Okay, I'm sure they have some way that they handle these things. I'm just not sure.
Yes. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for his or her call, do you have a special sex crimes unit?
I have an office number for the detectives that I can give you. They're all in the same office.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay. Their phone number is 314-615-5400. And you might actually find that's the best option to even start with. I mean, I think even if you talk to a street officer, it sounds like since this is a case from you when you were 12, it might be best to just talk straight to the detectives.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
I can still have this officer give you a call if you'd like, but you might be better off with it being a case from that long ago.
Okay, yeah, let's do both. You can have the officer call me, and if I've already gotten results with the Special Sex Crimes Unit, I'll just tell the officer that calls that they're handling it.
Okay, the officer that calls you should probably be calling you in the next 15 to 30 minutes. So.
Oh, perfect.
You might want to wait to call the detectives until after you talk to the officer. That way you don't miss their call.
Okay, yes, great. All right, thank you very, very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So that's one of the things that happens when you're making a sexual abuse report. What happens is you get handed around a little bit from cop to cop. There's no real easy, direct way to make a sexual abuse report. And the problem that I've run into for years is I have a client who's trying to make a sexual abuse report in the state in which they grew up, and the cops tell them, you have to come here to make the report. So, number one, it makes it very hard on the victim, quote unquote victim. And number two, it makes it take longer to report a sex offender, which means that, so as a therapist, the thing that probably bothers me the most is every day that a sex crime is not reported, the sex offender is out there on the streets raping or molesting other women, children, and men. Or I should actually say boys. Women, children, and boys. Because men rarely get sexually assaulted by other men. Grown men rarely get sexually assaulted by other men unless they're in prison. And then when a man gets thrown in prison, he actually begins to understand what women and children, little boys, little girls, go through when they're sexually assaulted. Most grown men don't know what it is to be sexually assaulted. So, anyway, because you get handed around and passed around, that is why I'm going to now go and call the Special Sex Crimes Unit in St. Louis County. Even though St. Louis is better than most states at caring for their sexual abuse reports, right before I came on this call and started recording, I checked the statute of limitations for sex crimes in St. Louis and Arizona. And in St. Louis, there's no statute of limitations. And in Arizona, it's 2 years. 2 years after the crime. If you don't report your sexual abuse 2 years after the crime, you're SOL, which is really funny because that's the abbreviation they use for statute of limitations. They use SOL. So it's horrifying to me as a counselor that in Arizona, the statute of limitations is so incredibly brief. Now, my case is a little different because even though I'm going to be reporting in Missouri, the rapist was a minor. I was 12 and he was 16, 15. And I don't know what the laws are based on that. So, now I'm going to go ahead and call the Special Sex Crimes Unit at the St. Louis County PD. 615-5400.
DCI Detective Ander.
Hi, Detective. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Andrew?
Andrew?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Jane Fendelman. I was raped in St. Louis, in your district, as a young girl, and I finally found out the name of my rapist, and I wanted to check on the statutes of limitation and see what I can do in the way of reporting him.
Okay, when did this happen?
It happened, okay, I was 12, so that was 48 years ago.
Okay. So, I can tell you this, that
when something happens like that, they go back to the statute of limitations of when
Oh
the
gosh.
incident happened.
Hold on. The other police officer is calling me back from St. Louis. I will be back with you shortly. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, is this Jane? This is Officer Hoffman, St. Louis County Police.
Yes, this is Jane Fendelman. What was your name again?
Officer Hoffman?
Hoffman. Okay,
Yes.
great.
You
Thank you
request
so
an
much.
officer to call you?
Yes, thank you. I was raped as a young girl in St. Louis in your jurisdiction, and I finally got the name of my rapist, and I wanted to report it. I'm concerned about the statute of limitations, but I at least wanted to get it on record in case he's raped or molested other children.
Okay. I was instructed that you've already contacted our DCI.
RDCI?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's for the criminal investigations, the detectives.
Oh, I'm not sure if I actually made a report. That was a few years ago when I was spelling the rapist's name wrong. And really nice police officer there was helping me see if I could locate the rapist because I knew his high school and I knew his name. And we both looked for him over a period of a few days or I think maybe weeks. But this was a few years ago. I'm not sure if I actually made the report. And also, now I have the rapist's name and whereabouts. I know exactly where he is.
Do you know who the officer was you were working with?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. I've had chemotherapy, so it kind of messes with your memory.
And
It might have been.
provided a report number?
I don't know. I wasn't. It was the Creve Coeur police officer, and the woman that I spoke with when I called into that number told me that this is the jurisdiction of St. Louis County PD.
Okay, and then do you know the address of occurrence?
The address of occurrence. It was in the park of the Beau Jardin Apartments on, it's either Schulte Road or Schutz Road, in between Old Olive and I think Lindbergh Road? No, in that area. Schulte Road, Schutz Road.
Okay, 1 second.
Beau Jardin Apartments. The name might be different now. This is a long time ago.
You said it was by Old Olive?
Yeah. Beau Jardin. Yeah, it intersected with Old Olive.
Okay.
Beau Jardin. 10347 Sanois, St. Louis.
St. Louis? Okay.
Oh, St. Louis.
Is there, and you said there's a park there?
There was, and I think there still is. I was there a few years ago because my mother lived there for a long, long time. And there was a park that us kids used to hang out in. And it was one of the boys there who raped me. He was about 16 and I was 12. Oh, yeah, I'm on their website looking at pictures.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. My computer's acting funny.
Yeah, there's a park. Wow, there's a tennis court.
And what year did this occur?
So it would have been 48 years ago. So let me see. 2020 minus 48 is 1972.
Yeah.
Yep, 1972.
And would you say the suspect's name is? Like you said you figured it out?
Yeah, his name is Scott. You can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Scott Kimball. KIM like Mary, B like boy, L like Lincoln, E like Edward. He lives in Florissant, Missouri now. He's 63 or 64.
He's 64 years of age.
I think, yeah, he's either 63 or 64.
Do you know anything else about him?
I do. A friend of mine found him on Facebook. So his birthday is October. Hold on, I can tell you exactly. He lives in Florissant, Missouri. He works at Dental Arts Lab. Boy, it must be so much easier for cops these days because of internet and Facebook.
Technology, yeah.
His birthday's October 9th, 1957. He went to Pattonville High School.
Okay. And so you don't know which officer you were working with before because, like, I don't want to create a new report when they already exist.
Well,
You know?
I don't know if we made a report. I mean, I think all I did was call Creve Coeur PD and say, I'm trying to find the guy who raped me. Can you tell me if he's still alive, or can you help me find him? And really nice cop I was working with was...
Right, and you said he worked on it for a couple of days, so it sounds like he was doing an investigation.
Well, we looked for him. He did a little bit of tracking, and he said, I checked all of my records, and this guy is either dead or changed his name, but he's a ghost. He's in the wind. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. And I didn't, you know what, I have started a file. I think if I made a report, I didn't get, I would have gotten a report number. I mean, this is kind of important. It changed my whole life. So I don't think I made a report. So I think I need to do that now.
Okay, and what year did you contact Creve Coeur PD?
I don't know. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay. And so, you said you were 12 years old, correct?
Yes.
So, at the time, like, you didn't report this to your parents or anything?
I didn't tell anybody. My father was gone by then. He abandoned me. And my mother was busy, and also she had a temper. So I was afraid I would get in trouble. If I told my mother, I was scared she would scream at me. So I didn't tell anybody. But she had a feeling something was wrong with me when I came home that night.
Okay.
But she didn't really check it out further than that. So I never told anybody. In fact, because I knew the boy, I didn't even realize it was rape, even though there was an attack and a big fight. And I was very banged up. I still didn't realize it was rape until I got into counseling when I was 30. Then I realized I was raped.
So what actually occurred?
So this was a park I used to follow my big sister to. So all these boys were older, and this one day my big sister wasn't there. And these boys, Scott Kimball was one of them, Rick Crane was another one of them, and Jeff Arthur was another. I've heard Rick Crane has since died. I don't know what happened to Jeff Arthur. Scott Kimball gave me like a handful of downers, and I was such a lonely kid. I was alone all the time, and I wanted to fit in. So I threw half of them away when they weren't looking, and I took some of them. Thank God, at least I wasn't stupid enough to take all of them. And then they took me to the apartment there in Beaujardin of a man called Twinks. I don't know his real name, but turns out he was a pedophile. So we were all sitting in his basement area, and when my head started flopping over, the boys left, and Twinks molested me. He got his hands up my shirt. I pushed him off of me.
What's his name? Twinks?
Twinks. I have no idea what apartment or what his real name is. But he was a pedophile, I guess, apparently, who lived there.
And he was an adult?
He was an adult. He was like in his late 30s or early 40s, and he supplied these boys with drugs. So he was a pedophile and a drug dealer.
Okay, and you said you woke up to him Doing what to you?
Well, I never fully lost consciousness, but I was, I was under the effects of the pills. And he started putting his hands up my shirt and groped me, and I pushed him off of me, and I ran out of his apartment. And then I was really confused because now it was night, and when I went in there, it was daytime. So who knows? Maybe I did pass out. But I don't think he got my clothes off. I don't think he got any further than getting his hands up my shirt. So I ran out, and I was going to run home, and it was dark, and I was running through the park to go home. And there used to be this bridge in that park over this little gully, and I guess all the boys were there, and they caught me and tried to stop me, and I kicked and fought and bit and broke free.
And that was the 3 boys you just told me about?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I broke free, and then I started running up the hill to the road. I was almost to, I don't know what it is, Schutz Road or Schulte Road. It's one of those two. And I was almost to the road, and Scott Kimball hit me from behind and knocked me down like a football tackle. So it knocked the wind out of me, and my lungs were burning. And then we had a big fight for my clothing, and I kicked and bit, and he was just stronger than me. And he got my pants off and started trying to rape me vaginally. He was screaming in my face to relax. It was really weird. And, bad. It was extremely painful. It was excruciating. I felt like I was being ripped apart from the inside because I was 12.
Right.
I was a virgin. And he could see after a while that wasn't working, and then he sat on my chest and pinned my arms and forced me. He raped me orally then and ejaculated in my mouth, and I was disgusted. And then, this is kind of really weird. But like I said, I knew him. He was one of the mean boys that I knew at this park, where I went just because I was a lonely kid. And I was spitting, and I was disgusted. And he walked me to the Circle K. I don't know if it's still there. Wait, I don't think you guys call it Circle K in Missouri. Quick Shop?
I mean, we have them.
Quick Stop? It was like
A lot of that stuff has changed, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Creve Coeur, like, switches their stuff out every couple of years, it seems
Oh,
like.
okay. So it was this, like, Quick Stop on Old Olive, and he walked me there, and he bought me a slushie, because I couldn't get over how this horrible taste from him in my mouth. And he bought me a slushie, and then he left. And all I remember after that is I staggered home in the middle of the street crying because the traffic was polluting the air. And I remember walking in our front door and having to hold on to the door jamb. So my mother said, "What happened to you?" Because there was mud and sticks on my hair, in my back.
Right.
And I was afraid I would get in trouble because I took pills. And
Right.
I said I was in Beaujardin Park and I had a headache, and a man I didn't know gave me pills that he said were aspirin. And that's all I remember. And years later, after I turned 30 and asked my mother about that day, she said, I knew something bad happened to you. I sat up with you all night, which is really nice. That's uncharacteristic for my mother. I sat up with you all night. You were in your bed, delirious and babbling all night long. And yeah, I never told anybody about it till I turned 30 and then found a counselor. I wanted to find out why my life was so messed up.
Right.
And this counselor asked me one day, what was your first sexual experience like? And I said, well, it was unpleasant and it hurt really badly and I didn't really want to do it. And she said, oh, you were raped. And I said, what? No, I knew the boy. And she said, well, he raped you. And I said, nah. And it took a few days for it to sink in. And then I realized, wow, yeah, that's rape. I was not only raped, but I was molested on the same day by a pedophile. So that's what
Right.
happened. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. You're very nice. You're
So
very nice.
I've notated everything that you've told me. So our dispatch, like, they sent me a note saying that they referred you to a detective. So did they not give you that phone number?
When I was on the phone before you with your dispatch, I
Right.
said, by the way, do you have a special sex crimes unit? And she said, yeah, let me give you that number. And I said, okay, great.
Okay.
Because sometimes police departments want people to go straight to their special sex crimes unit to make a report like this.
Right, right. So, like, if I do it, then I'm just gonna write a real, like, general report, and then that same detective's gonna follow up with you,
Oh, okay.
and then they're gonna get more detailed information from you, and then try to go talk to this guy.
Okay, great. So the laws are different when it's a minor raping a minor, right?
Yeah, I mean, back then it could have been way different. But for him to commit a crime like that at that age, he would actually, like, nowadays would go to juvenile court even as an adult,
Oh, he would.
because it's a juvenile crime. So a juvenile judge would have to handle the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
He would have to go to court. Yes. You know I mean, you're a cop. You obviously know how much rapists and pedophiles get away with it. Like, all the time.
Oh, I don't personally see that myself.
You don't? Oh, that's so
No.
good to hear. Like in Arizona, they get away with it.
Especially with, like, technology that we have these days.
Well, in Arizona, because I'm a therapist, I know how many clients I calculated in the last 27 years since I became a shrink. 16,848 women and children were raped or molested and wouldn't report it because they're scared to report.
Yeah, I mean, that all depends on certain circumstances and stuff. Like it depends on their culture, how they grew up, and then their environment. But I can
Right.
see, like, many different reasons for that.
Well, and also, I think Missouri cops are way more compassionate than Arizona cops. In
I
Arizona cops,
appreciate that.
it's true. In Arizona, our statute of limitations for a sexual assault, whether it's an adult or a child assaulted, is 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Yeah,
I take
so,
that back. For a child, it's it's 2 years after you turn 18. And then for everybody else, it's 2 years.
Hmm.
Like,
That's
I didn't
interesting.
even realize I was raped until I was 30. And I was raped when I was 12.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, the denial. That's
And
why,
so why did you wait so long to actually report this?
oh my gosh, that's such a great question. Okay, so first of all, I didn't realize I was raped until I was 30. And then when I did tell my counselor, and I did tell my mother, nobody said, we got to report this guy. He's a rapist. Oh, and P.S., there's a pedophile there too. Let's report them. And why my counselor and my mother didn't say that to me. So when I came out of denial, I was just kind of in the throes of the shock of, holy shit, I was raped. Holy shit. It took years for that to just like sink in. That's real. That happened. And then the next thing I did was go to work on healing from it. And that took years to heal from it. And then I went to school. I became a counselor. And then I went about the work of helping other people report their rape or their incest. And then one day, I don't know why, Officer Hoffman, one day I woke up about 10 years ago and I was like, holy shit, I need to report mine. Why didn't I report mine? I got to report mine. I'm reporting mine. So then about 10 years ago, I started hunting for this guy, not realizing I had his name wrong. And then it took me all the way up until about 3 years ago to think, wow, I should enlist the help of the Creve Coeur Police Department because that's where it happened. And then I called up that cop there and I was like, hey, can you help me find this guy? And then he helped me look around and he said, this guy is gone. This guy's disappeared. I don't know where this guy is. And then even though I sort of gave up, I never really fully gave up, and I would still look every now and then and see, is this guy still in existence? And then I was on my Facebook page last week Wednesday, and I did this post about something, we need to change rape culture so that people don't get rapes. Oh, I know what it was. I did this post where I said, Ask any woman you know how old she was the first time a man did or said something sexually inappropriate to her. And the post blew up. Like there were 167
Oh, I
answers.
bet.
Yeah. And
I
women,
bet.
women were all, there were ages from 3 to 14 was the average for of a woman's first sexual assault or first time a man did or said something sexually inappropriate. And then in the thread, I posted mine. The first time I was molested was a carny at Creve Coeur Days who lifted me off the merry-go-round when I was 10. And I developed early. I got my menstrual period at 10. And he reached his hands underneath my arms and put his hands on my tiny chest and lifted me off.
Wow.
He copped a feel. That was the
Yeah.
first time. And I said, then I was
It's outrageous.
raped and molested when I was 12. And
Yeah.
then people started asking me about it and how I healed from that and when I became a counselor and all this stuff. And that's where it all started coming out in this thread. And a Facebook friend, I don't even know this woman. I put his name, but I put it spelled wrong. Scott Kimball, Ball. Well, a day or two later, so Wednesday, she private messages me in the morning and she says, would you recognize this guy all grown up? And she sent me a picture of him as a teenager and then a picture of him now, old man. And I was like, oh my God, that's him. How'd you find him? And she said, here's his Facebook page. You were spelling his name wrong. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to report this guy. So that's what happened. But women are so in denial and we don't have the support of our family and people. Like my family, whenever I tried to bring it up so I brought it up when I turned 30. I told my mom about it. And she immediately shut me down and said, you need to talk to a counselor about that. I can't hear it. And that was it. There was nothing in it.
Do you think that's why you took that profession, that career route?
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, I have
Well,
my...
I mean, at least then you had something inspiring you, though.
Absolutely. I have my rapist to thank for it. So I private messaged
Sadly.
him.
Yeah.
Last week, Officer Hoffman, I private messaged him on Facebook. And I reminded him of exactly what he did to me.
Did he respond to you?
Not yet. And then I realized we have 2 friends in common, and I talked to them about what happened, and they expressed, compassion for me. And then I really kind of cyber stalked him, and I friended somebody who I knew in a roundabout way when I was a child. And I friended him, and he said, hi, it's good to hear from you. I knew you as a child from Beaujardin Park. And I said, how do you know Scott Kimball? And he said, he's my brother-in-law. And I said, well, he raped me. And tell him to read my message. And then he said, I'm sure he's read it. He's probably not going to answer. And I was like, okay. And then I thought, Monday, I'm calling the cops.
So before I forget, let me make sure I got contact info for you.
Yes.
Can you spell your last name for me?
It's F like Frank, E-N like Nancy, D like David, E-L-M-A-N.
Okay, and then your date of birth?
9/21/59.
And a social for you?
490-540916.
And then, okay, I got your phone number because I just called you. What's your current address?
1328 East Clarendon, Clarendon Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona, 85014.
85014? Okay.
Yep.
And that Clarendon was Clarendon?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Scott Kimball, he's in Florissant, Missouri.
Okay, right. You told me that.
Yep.
So would it be all right for me to call you back? I just want to pass this along to my supervisor and see whether he wants me to refer you to a detective or just go ahead and take this call.
Okay, great. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Oh, wait a minute, Officer
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Did I already ask you and you said you weren't sure what the laws, when a minor rapes a minor, it goes to juvenile court, right?
Yes.
Okay.
1 second, please. 1 second. I'm sorry. So yeah, like if it was a crime he committed while he was a juvenile, he would be referred to juvenile court. Like he would have to face a juvenile judge
Okay, good.
because it's all based off of when it was committed.
Yes.
Now, then again, you're talking like a really long time ago, so I don't know how different things were back then, but that's how it works these days.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you.
So, but yeah, I'll be calling you back though. Okay.
Alrighty. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Officer Hoffman.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too. Oh my gosh. That felt so great. That felt amazing. Okay.